Castle does bring you some UT4 madness. My level of the ballast is getting more static mesh work, and in lieu of doing extra static mesh work, I'm actually simplifying my brush work, which, well, in turn is actually even more of a difference from what the people over at Epic are doing. Um, but I feel more comfortable with just having meshes and just kind of working with meshes because it's gonna eventually be that way anyway, right? So I don't really see it as being a big deal to kind of jump from one to the other. The only thing is that with this method, like in this video here, I'm kind of like trying to like, should I make a new mesh or should I just use what I've already got? Because one of the big things I find with Unreal Tournament level design is getting really creative with the meshes that you have, right? But when you're the one who's creating the mesh, you divide by 0. And now I don't know what should I get really creative with what I'm working with, or should I keep making more? So while it's a pretty like logical thing, it's pretty easy to break out of this logically. Of course, I need more meshes. I didn't realize that that's why I was having trouble figuring out what I wanted to do. And I now know what I want with the level. It has these like it has like a techie look on the bottom floors, and as it goes up, it gets more smooth, like Iron Man style, like white, plasticky, shiny type of stuff going on. But at this point, I'm still very much just experimenting with the metally, the chrome look. And for the most part, it's mostly I was just experimenting with the models that I already have. Because, hey, if I can do this with fewer meshes, that's why this is such an interesting balancing act. If I could do this with fewer meshes, that's better. Because the fewer meshes that you use, that you need to make things look good, the less work it takes to finalize everything and get it all looking pretty. But uh, I'm also like right here I'm adding little divots to these scaffolding type, not scaffolding, bars like rivet. Well, I can't think of the correct term, but it's really simple. Um, I add little rivets to that, little extra details here and there because it's instance. It's nice to have a little bit more going on. So, I can't remember what it was I was doing at this point. What was this? I think I was like experimenting. Oh, I'm trying to come up with how I want to have edges to the ledges, edges to the ledges. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it, so I'm not even sure what I was doing at this point. Huh. I I think I threw this model out and then immediately made something else. Oh, oh, this is the ground trim, and then I added like a bar that goes across there, and then have that sort of like a detailed ground trim that just goes directly below the wall pieces, and have it be more detail. I feel a little bit like I would actually prefer to have like higher poly models that where normal mapping is used more for like the smaller details, while you have just more polys on the model in general. Uh, and then combine that kind of with the DX11 tessellation, so you can get kind of, I don't know, like a better mix. It's really difficult to say. The one thing that I will say is that I'm concerned that uh, I hope that UT4 doesn't look like a previous generation game. I hope it actually looks like a cutting edge next generation game. And when I say that, I mean in a big way that actually matters. I mean, sure, we could say, oh, next generation, like Watch Dogs was next gen. Eh. I mean, it is, all right. But I want something that actually stands out, like I'm looking at something that was rendered in Brigade or something. Something that actually is a really different and cutting edge next generation uh, environment. That's what I would prefer. I want something that actually eh, I'm just repeating myself at this point. But here's that bar I was talking about. And since it ends up being the same material, just the chrome, I didn't have to do any of the weird things. I need to get like a newer version of 3D Studio Max, and I just found out that they're going to be doing away with upgrades, and I've been waiting a really long time to upgrade. So I have a situation now where it's like this like extremely expensive personal copy of 3D Studio Max that I bought a really long time ago when I was really dumb. I made use of it, and I love using Max. Max is my preferred 3D modeling tool, but it was extremely expensive. Now I'm learning that they're they're gonna end up just treating me like I never spent a penny on it. Uh, if I don't try and at least get an upgrade soon. I hope maybe I can. This week I'm probably going to be talking to them about getting a new version of Max, or do something, or I'm just going to end up having to get Modo. Modo is a pretty good tool. Or work with something new. I try to work with Blender, but Blender doesn't quite agree with me. Maybe it's feels like, you know what it feels like? Blender feels like GIMP to me. Like if I have Photoshop, I'm just gonna use Photoshop. I'm not gonna use GIMP. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving it a chance. I mean, I already have Max. I already know how to use Max. I'm really fast with Max. I'd prefer to just keep using Max. I hope they don't charge me like $2,000 just so I can continue doing hobby stuff on the side. Because for the most part in professional projects, you're not expected to make meshes. If you're a level designer, you're not expected to build meshes like this. I mean, sometimes depending on the work environment, it could be possible. It's nice to the artist to be like, hey, here's a bunch of meshes I already built that fill out the space exactly as I imagined. Uh, or just make them look good. It doesn't sound bad to me on paper, but most of the time, that's not usually how it goes. Because um, if I make a whole bunch of meshes, that's basically me going to the art department, make these exact things, and I don't give them any ability to do anything creative or anything like that. They end up just sort of, I end up just dropping a whole bunch of work on them. But in this case, this is an open community type thing. I can still replace these models with models that are already, that other artists make down the line, and I can also have somebody finalize them if they feel like working on them. Like, so it's a bit of a different environment. I'm not just like walking from into the art department and handing them like 20 models and say make these look good. It's not quite like that, which is usually not anything that I've ever really. I don't know. It just doesn't usually work that way. It's more of a give and take thing. You can't just be like, here's 20 models. Don't do that. Anyway, thank you for watching.